segunda parte del reportaje con el ministro de Relaciones Exteriores de Nueva Zelanda, el honorable Mary McCalley. Aquí en Wellington y desde el Parlamento nos habló de su relación con la Argentina y de su pasión por el rugby. How are the Pumas and the Argentine visitors viewed in New Zealand?
Well, they are seen as a very attractive rugby team. There is a long history of New Zealand and Argentina on the rugby field, and particularly in the days of Ugo Porter, some close encounters. I think there is admiration in New Zealand for the very physical style that the Argentinian teams bring to rugby. There is also, I think, a strong admiration for the ability of Argentinian people generally to party well. Anyone who has been to Buenos Aires knows that there is a lifestyle in Argentina that is very attractive. I think New Zealanders find this a very exotic idea, which is why I believe that improvements in air services will increasingly see people from New Zealand choosing to go through Latin America when they're going to Europe. I think this will be one of the big opportunities for the future, and from that will grow more educational opportunities for people to visit as young people each other's countries. This is the way ahead of us, I think.
You mentioned the All Blacks, and I would like to know, why is it that they have a little success in winning the Rugby World Cup? Is there anything different this time?
New Zealanders have struggled with this for now many years. The idea that year after year we can be the most successful team in the world, that the All Blacks can have one of the finest brands in international rugby and miraculously get to Rugby World Cup time and get bowled out in quarters or semi-finals, and this is a very difficult notion for New Zealanders to come to grips with. So we believe that this is going to be our year. We believe that despite the focus on the tournament though, that we want our visitors to enjoy themselves in New Zealand, and part of my role has been to encourage New Zealanders to think not just about the success of the All Blacks at home, but about making sure all of our visiting teams and their supporters enjoy their New Zealand experience, because for us as a country, winning is not just about the All Blacks, it is about the success of our industries, particularly our tourism and our trade.
What are your impressions about the All Blacks in this Rugby World Cup?
One of the great privileges of this job is to get to know Richie McCaw and many of his team members quite well. I attend a lot of matches. I have a good deal to do with many of the All Blacks, and they are role models for young New Zealanders both on and off the field. So I think the depth of character that they bring to this tournament will give them a good chance of success.
What are the values that you see the rugby promotes worldwide?
I think the most important one is teamwork. And that is why, as Minister of Sport, I strongly encourage not just the leading rugby players, but other leading sports people to be role models for our young people. They can teach them not just about teamwork, but about discipline, about a commitment to physical fitness and good health and so on. And I think that the funds that taxpayers employ in promoting sport in New Zealand have this great benefit that they create good role models for young New Zealanders.
What do you think are the main contributions that your ministries have given to the government of New Zealand?
The Foreign Ministry is very important to New Zealand because we make our living from successfully conducting economic and trading relationships, and the role of the government is very important in this area, and the role of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as the lead ministry in this area is very important. I'd like to think that we make a very important contribution to New Zealand's economic success simply by doing our jobs competently day after day.
The final will take place at Eden Park the 23rd of October. What do you think are the main lessons that this Rugby World Cup had given you?
Two things from previous experience. We need to learn that when the going gets tough on the field, we need to show true character because when you are under pressure in a game, that is a test of character, and we need to succeed in that respect. But I also think that the big lesson I have learned is that the Rugby World Cup is about an opportunity to present our country on the international stage, that the way in which New Zealanders have responded over the last 2 weeks shows me that they are very proud of their country, that they wish to welcome our visitors, and that they wish to ensure that their visitors enjoy their time in New Zealand. So I think for us it has been a time in which New Zealanders have been able to take some pride in their country.
What would be your wish in the relationship between our two countries?
It would be my wish to see stronger air linkages between our two countries, leading to more frequent travel, not just between our two countries, but using each other as a place from which to transit. So in our case, the ability on the way to Europe to transit through Latin America, and particularly through Argentina, and from Argentina's point of view, leading to New Zealand being a transit point to China and other parts in Asia.
Are you encouraging young people to come and have a working experience or a holiday here in New Zealand?
We encourage through our working holiday scheme young people from Argentina to come to New Zealand, also for study. We are becoming more and more specialised in the area of international educational opportunities. I also would like to see us encourage more young New Zealanders to go to Argentina, as I say, not just to spend time there directly, but also if they are travelling to Europe. I think a stopover in Argentina would be a very attractive way of going to the other side of the world.
You might have a very short time for recreation. I would like to know from a personal point of view, what do you like to do when you're not working?
I used to play rugby, but I gave up playing rugby when I became Foreign Minister nearly 3 years ago. I had been previously captain of the New Zealand parliamentary rugby team. Unfortunately, due to my lack of fitness and advancing years, I found that when I got injured, it became much harder to rehabilitate injuries. The Prime Minister suggested that having an injured Foreign Minister was not a good look for New Zealand. So I haven't played for 3 years, but I still follow rugby very closely. It is the #1 sport here, and that is why many politicians like me follow rugby very closely.
Who do you admire?
Well, I think Richie McCaw is the outstanding rugby player of his generation, a man of great character who is not just a great player but a great captain, and he would be the one I would say I admire the most.
What do you like from Argentina? You said that you had visited our country.
Yes.
What do you think that you like the most?
What I like most is the exotic lifestyle, which is very attractive to New Zealanders.
Can you define for us what is an exotic life for you?
We have a practice of going to bed at night much earlier than I remember going to Buenos Aires and being told to go to Recoleta, but to go late. And for us, late is sort of 11 o'clock. And I went along at that hour to find that it was just warming up. We like the exotic lifestyle, the dancing, the good food and good wine in Latin America generally, but particularly in Buenos Aires and Argentina.
What are your objectives as the Foreign Affairs Minister of New Zealand?
Well, my first objective is to see a successful World Cup completed in New Zealand because 5 weeks after final day, we have the elections in New Zealand. So my next ambition is to be re-elected to the Parliament, and the one after that is to be reappointed as Foreign Minister. I would like to do another term in that role, and I have to get over these hurdles to achieve that objective.
I would like to know, what does New Zealand mean to you?
I think New Zealand is a special country that has the ability to be very much more successful than we have been in the past because of the opportunities that are opening up in Asia in particular. And I hope to be part of a government that gives New Zealand the confidence to take advantage of those opportunities.
Mr. Mary McCully, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Government of New Zealand, thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure to have you here.
Nuevo Fiat Uno. ¿Te subís? Fiat.